Hey, you fart fairies, and welcome back to another episode of 90 Day Fiancé, The Last Resort. This week is part 3 to the tell-all. And I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing this, but this was like a couple of weeks ago, so yes, I am still behind. But we are catching up in this next week. I'm actually going to do part 3 and most of part 4 in this video, because honestly, those two episodes felt like so much filler. They could have wrapped up this whole tell-all in like 3 parts, 4 at the very most. They just kept adding weird stuff in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and condense all that down, and for the rest of the time it is pretty awkward, so let's get right into it. Part 2 of the tell-all ended with Darcy and Georgie coming out and Sean asking Georgie if Stacy can trust Florian, and it was taking him a minute to answer. So this episode they start out right from there. Sean goes and asks him again, can Stacy trust Florian? Georgie finally gives an answer saying he doesn't think that he's cheating, but is he going where he say he's going? Maybe, he doesn't know. Then also goes on to say that yeah, he is definitely flirting with women, but Darcy goes ahead and decides to like have Florian's back on that and be like, oh, it's just networking. He's just networking. Now they go on to play a clip of when Stacy finds out that Florian walks some blonde home from the bar. So Sean asks Georgie, what did that girl actually say? It's either one or two things. Georgie's either lying, or two, this story was so fabricated that he just couldn't remember what his lines were. But Darcy goes on to explain what happened, that she got the call and that he said that the girl walked up to his table and said, tell Florian thank you for taking me home, and then just walked off. And Georgie's like, yeah, that's what happened. And they just chalk it up to him just being too drunk to even remember. So Sean goes on to ask Florian who that woman is, and he explains the same story that he has 1,000 times, that this girl was drunky walking in the street, that he opened the door for her, she went into the elevator, and that was it. And Sean tried to cause some more drama by being like, oh, so how did lipstick get on your shirt that night?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
But she got mistaken. Those were two separate occurrences. So Sean asked him, why doesn't he think it was important to tell Stacy? And he goes on to be like, do I have to tell her every person I open the door for? Which I understand. Like, why would he have to tell Stacy about a person that he's just opening a door for? We would all be telling our partners or whatever every single like day, almost being like, yeah, I opened this door for somebody. Like, that's crazy. And if that girl took it in another way, it was saying stuff to Georgie about it, and that's probably just on her. But at the same time, I feel like somebody just holding a door open for you is not memorable, not noteworthy. Like, you wouldn't walk up to somebody's table, like a friend of that person, and try to be like, oh, tell them thank you for yada yada. So it just, I don't know, again, it does seem fake, so we're just gonna go past it. So Sean asked Stacy what about that night actually triggered her, and apparently his location was real spotty during that night. Like, the location would be on and then it would be off and then it would be on, just really weird. I don't know how the location works because I've never like shared my location with anybody. I never really cared about that too much, so I don't know how that works, so I have no say. I just know they started arguing over it.
That night his like tracking was off.
The location sharing was off.
I don't know how. I don't know how it got turned off. It just wasn't working and I couldn't track him.
It's your problem. You don't understand to use the phone.
And you were staying out.
Look at the
madly.
Phone. I have my phone
every
right.
night.
My phone right now. I can try to delete her message. It's going to say me. You want to delete the location, or you want to keep the location?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember nothing.
Watch your tone, boy.
So Sean asked Stacy how much she trusts Florian from a 1 to 10, and this girl says 7, which I totally get. And she goes on to ask everybody else who thinks Florian is going to cheat, and all the girls raised their hand, even Darcy. And Sean pointed it out, like, your sister just raised her hand on that. And Stacy bit back. She's like, yeah, it's okay, because Georgie is probably gonna cheat on her too. Now Rob, being so passionate about his boys, had to speak up and says he does not think Florian is going to cheat on her because he loves her so much, which makes me question, did you not love Sophie because you were cheating on her?
And
But she goes on to say that she does know that he loves her, but it takes more than love. And at this point, she is older than him, and she is scared that when she gets to that point, she might be in a wheelchair or something like that. Is he just gonna go off and hang out with his boys while she's in her elderly times? And to be honest, it doesn't look that way because one, she had a surgery and he wasn't around just for the surgery part. And now she's going through body changing, menopause, and he's still not there. What would make him stay around for the toughest part when you're getting older and you really may need somebody? Not saying she's gonna have to have somebody, but what if that does happen? And it seems like he's not gonna be around if she truly needed him. But she just goes on to say that she has some decisions to make, some stuff to think about, and he may not believe in divorce, but she does. So if she finds a single hint, a little anything, a whiff of him cheating, it's an automatic divorce they'll be done with. Now we move on to Ari and Bini, and Sean asks them if they're still on the same page about the divorce, and yeah, they're still gonna get the divorce. But then Ari goes on to say that she's still basically managing Bini, that technically she's not his manager, but he'll still call up being like, hey, I need you to do this. And she's like, I don't want to do it, but he keeps calling, so I just do it. At this point, he's a grown man. Let him figure it out. That's his business. So Sean asks them if they're dating, and Ari says, yes, she's been dating. And Bini, of course, yes, he's dating. He's been dating even since he's been in the relationship. I don't think he ever stopped dating. And Josh asks Bini, are you talking to just one person or like what's going on? And Bini's like, nah, there's a plethora of women. And of course, Ari is not happy about that. But Sean gets down to the nitty gritty and she's like, listen, Bini, did you cheat or not? And Bini tries to beat around the bush, even though we all already know he did cheat.
Bini, once and for all, did you ever cheat on Ari?
I mean, the only thing I want to say, like for now,
You
just
cheated on me at least 4 times.
no, let me tell you.
4?
And then,
At least.
All right, so Bini, I'm just gonna try one more time. When Ari was pregnant with your son, did you cheat on her?
Let me tell you something.
Yes,
It's yes or no.
yeah, no, I want to say.
no.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
I want to say yes.
Got him. We fucking got him.
But while he's trying to make up some type of excuse, Ari's like, listen, I know you cheated at least 4 times. And brings up one time right after having Avi, she had a C-section. Of course, she's in pain. She's going through it. One night, she sees a message pop up on his phone that says, I love you, baby. So she goes in, sees the message, wakes him up, confronts him about it. And this dude, do you know what this dude does? He takes the phone, deletes it, and tries to deny it. And she goes on, which makes me feel so bad. She goes on to be like, I didn't leave him, which I should have, but I didn't because I didn't want to raise a baby alone. And I'm like, oh, that is so goddamn heartbreaking. And as much crap as I talk about Ari, I've always knew Bini was a cheating ass dude. But the things that she brings up in this tell-all, I'm like, goddamn, I wish she would have said something. But all she ever did was get mad at people that they just didn't hate Bini. That's all she ever did was like get irritated and talk crap to people because they weren't like, F you, Bini. Even though she wasn't explaining anything. But she says she just regrets not taking a screenshot and sending it to herself. So Sean asks Bini again, did you cheat? Yes or no? He's like, well, yeah. And after he says that, all the men are like, damn, really? Like, that's kind of crappy. And Ari gets so mad. She's like, see, I told you guys you would not hold him accountable. I'm so mad you guys don't have the same energy for him that you have for Jasmine. The reason they have that type of energy for Jasmine is because one, the whole situation, and 2, it's because Jasmine gives off that energy that I'm about to fight you. She wanted them all to get up and just start dogging Bini out, like fighting this dude or something. But it's like, how are you gonna just start going off on a dude that's just like, yes, I cheated. I just wanted my social media. And just like, it's just sitting there. Bini might be a crappy person, but like the energy and stuff that he's giving off, like his demeanor, he's very calm about everything. And Ari wants everybody to just be screaming at this dude. The dudes were sitting there holding him accountable, being like, damn, like, why would you do that? That sucks. She acts like they were sitting there like dapping him up like, yeah, you cheated on that girl. So she's just angry that they're not screaming at him. And she just gets more and more upset. She's like, listen, he cheated on me. I know what he did to me. He even cheated on every single girl he's he's ever been with, and you're not holding this guy accountable, you're standing up for him. But Bini stops the whole fight, even though he is the cause of the fight. And that's what I mean, the whole demeanor. Like, it's hard to go off on somebody that's like that.
You're defending someone who
let me
made
tell you
my
something.
life
No, I'm
hell,
not
and
defending him.
he's
I
cheated
am
on
just
every
pointing
single
out-
woman that he's been
let
with.
me talk. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize that because past that time I will be selfish and then I hurt you because and then I try to. I'm sorry for that. I really am. I'm sorry. Apologize that because past that time I will be selfish and then I hurt you and then just I'm working on myself. I want to move on, you know, but. Because and then I try to. I'm sorry for that. I really am. I'm sorry. And at the same time, we work now for our son, like for co-parent. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize that because past that time I will be selfish and then if we fighting, just I want to change. I want to be good father.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now they go ahead and bring out Ari's mom, which she has had a part in their segments quite a bit, especially when they moved to America. I'm pretty sure her parents were the ones that like paid for their apartment. They were around a lot. They were always helping. So she was like in the relationship. So Sean asked her how it was when they first got together. And she said, of course, in the beginning, you know, it's a honeymoon stage. They're going to be happy. And on top of that, they were expecting. But quickly after that, it went down the tubes. So Sean asked her how she feels about Ari holding Bini's passwords. And she says that it didn't really accomplish anything. If anything, it made things worse. And Ari butts in and is like, Bini, can you at least admit that I did it for your own sake? I was doing it for you. I was just trying to protect you. And Josh is like, so what happened? Why were you holding his passwords? And she doesn't say anything. It's stuff like this where she has the opportunity to speak up and then she just goes silent, but then gets mad when nobody's hating on Bini when they have no information. So Ari's mom's like, F it, I'm gonna tell them. And goes on to say that the people that be up in Bini's DMs are opportunists. And she goes on to say there's this one time that he was talking to a girl. The girl figures out they're never gonna be in a relationship, so she gets mad and extorts Bini and tells Bini she's gonna be posting a whole bunch of lies on social media and stuff unless he gives her money. And goes on to say that Bini is just too trusting with people, that it's okay to trust people, but you also need to verify. And after she explains all that crazy stuff going on in his socials, Sean is like, does everybody now see why Ari kept his passwords? And everybody's like, yeah, that makes sense, we understand now. And Ari isn't happy with that. Everybody is finally on her side and she's still not happy. This is what I mean by she just wanted everybody to drag Bini out, stone him. These people are agreeing with her, being like, damn, now we see, and she's still mad.
So with that in mind, does everyone understand why Ari did not want to give Bini his passwords back?
I could see that. I could see how she might feel like she might be the only one who could stop something like that from happening.
But the funny thing is that, like, this whole time I'm like, why don't you guys understand? And then, you know, my mom comes out here and explains it for you. I think I'm saying the same thing she is.
I know you fucking lying, bitch.
Yeah, but you never said that. You never said that.
Never heard anything about that.
It's in a sweet way, in a lovely way.
Oh, I'm not sweet and lovely.
Once
No.
everybody have respect for her, like I look your mom like my mom, and everybody believe.
That was a backhanded compliment.
Can you shut the fuck up?
No, you didn't. You didn't say any of this. Anytime it was your time to talk, you were either dogging somebody else out or crying about how nobody's dogging Bini out. Like, literally, she never explained any of this. And she's mad that everybody's listening to her mom. Of course, because she got the information. But Rob goes on to, like, cut her off and be like, listen, I like to hear people out, and I promise you, you never said anything at all during the therapy. You never told us any of this. And Ari goes on to say, yeah, it's because Bini told me not to tell you. So what are you mad about? You're over here mad that they weren't listening to something that you weren't saying.
Does it sound like he makes it?
You're mad that they didn't know something that you didn't tell them. But then you also wanted to sit there and be like, I told you guys, but I didn't tell you guys. So why aren't you mad? And then Ari goes on to contradict herself once again. It's the whole talking in circles thing. She just said she didn't say anything because Bini didn't want her to say anything. But then right after, she says that she didn't say anything because nobody gave her the chance to say anything.
And I've never heard you say anything about people potentially taking advantage of
He didn't
Bini.
want me to say that.
Right, but that's the only reason
how
I
are
didn't
we
know that
supposed
was
to
the
know
thing.
and
I didn't
back
know
you
that.
up?
Try to protect him, you hurting yourself.
Yep, it's true.
You guys never really gave me a chance to say my side of the story.
Now they move on to Natalie and Josh, and Sean, of course, immediately starts off with them getting together after the resort. Like, what was up with that? I guess Natalie was sliding in them DMs, sending him naughty pictures, saying, come over, F me, doing the whole 9. And he went over.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again.
But Natalie goes on to say that she was really surprised that he broke up with her. And Josh goes on to say that they just fell back into their old habits even after they broke up. And that this time they weren't even like really going out on dates or anything. It was just kind of straight to the bedroom kind of situation. And Rob was telling him to leave it alone, to drop it. They had to stop talking. And Rob was right, because Josh kept messing with her until Natalie flip moded on social media. And she was talking big-ish, like apparently to everybody. But starting off with Josh, she tries to defend herself, saying she wasn't talking crap under his stuff or anybody else's stuff. She went into her own posts and commented under her own stuff for some reason. But yeah, she was talking crap. He goes on to say that she was in her own comments for some reason, saying that Josh is a crappy father and that he has a felon living with him and that his daughter should be scared around him. Who does that? Don't you want children? Would you want somebody saying that to you, about your kids? Like, why are you even bringing the children into the situation? It doesn't matter what kind of relationship you have with another person. A child should never be involved in the conversation when you're two grown folk having grown folk business. Like, I don't understand why people do that. Why are you bringing the child into the situation? That shit would have made me so goddamn mad. And if she even pushed it further, CPS and things could have been involved. Like, don't talk about, oh my god, that shit made me mad. And Natalie tries to get everybody to feel bad for her after she just went and did some crazy shit and was like, Josh was in my DM saying he was going to ruin my life. I would too. But apparently that's not what he said. He slid in there and was like, listen, you need to shut up. Stop talking about me and my family. And she got salty about that. But after he told her to stop lying on social media and everything and she went crazy, they just stopped talking after that. So when they said it ended ugly, that's what they meant. And now Sean, she does what she does best. She's like, all right, let's make things worse for you guys. Josh, did you ever consider Natalie your girlfriend?
Josh, in the 3-year period that you were with Natalie, did you ever consider Natalie your girlfriend?
I don't think that I would have considered her my girlfriend, no.
Why are you saying this? What the boo? During that 3-year period, were you having sex with other people?
No.
I don't believe you.
Его committed to me.
So in that 3-year period, Natalie was the only woman you had sex with?
I mean, probably not.
So that's a lie then.
I like the wording on that.
Cut this out. I'm done.
Ari goes on to be like, you should have just been upfront with her and told her from the get-go that you didn't want to be with her. And he has to remind everybody, I did. Did you not watch our segments? Time and again, because he even said it during the therapy sessions that he came here to see if he could commit to her. Did nobody hear that? He was never committed to her. So Sean goes on to bring up his house. Why didn't he bring her there? And he's like, listen, my place isn't some castle, magical, mystical fantasy land. But the whole reason I didn't bring her there is because Natalie started calling my ex-wife names, started calling her a hooker and all kinds of stuff. And Natalie tries to defend herself and be like, no, I did not. I never said anything to your ex-wife. And goes on to say that his ex-wife was attacking her on interviews, was talking crap about her. And one thing that I know, if you're gonna say something about Natalie gonna say something about you. So she probably did. She probably did attack his wife. I'm not saying that his wife didn't attack her, but you can't sit here and say you didn't call that lady a hooker. That's all I'm saying. But Josh just goes on to explain that his family is very important to him and he has a good relationship with his ex-wife, which is also the mom to his kids, and he doesn't want to ruin that, and Natalie is a threat to that. And Natalie keeps trying to say that she never said anything to his wife, that she was very respectful, and that his ex-wife was the one going off on her. But Josh gets mad and is like, you need to stop lying. You did say those things to my ex-wife. And Natalie is like, it's not true. It's not true. I swear to God. Do you have proof? You can't prove it. You know, have no proof? Okay, I didn't say it. No proof.
Right to jail, right away.
Girl, I don't even need proof. I know you said that shit. But Josh is just done with this woman. He just drops it. He's like, I'm done. Have a good life. I'm gonna move on. Now, Sean tries to calm down the situation, but immediately heated back up with bringing up the screenshots of Sophie and Josh. So they bring up all the screenshots, him sending her So Sean asks, with all that, how is Rob and Josh such good friends? And Rob goes on to explain, listen, if you can't handle people hitting on your wife, you shouldn't have an attractive partner. And she's like, I get that, but you don't find any of that disrespectful? Hey, I didn't know him prior to all that, so that was then, and he apologized for it. So we have moved on. So Josh, did you invite Sophie to Vegas? Yeah, I did, but there were other friends there. That don't matter. Stop bringing that part up. It's the fact that you invited Sophie in the first place. And she goes on to remind him, but you told Natalie you didn't invite Sophie, so what's up with that? And he goes on to be like, yeah, I was just trying to calm her down. So you just straight up lied to her? And then Josh and Ari go on to have like a weird exchange.
So you'll sleep with her, but you won't go anywhere with her.
Ari, send me some pictures and say me, and then let's see what happens. Like, I mean,
we'll
come on.
talk about that later.
Like,
What do you mean by that?
But Sean goes on to ask Natalie, does she feel like Sophie is still in the fault, like she had some part in this? And Natalie sits there and tries to apologize and is like, listen, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done all that. And that is just none of her business anymore. But Sophie calls her out. She's like, listen, I don't need to hear that damn apology because you're going to sit here and act cool in front of my face. But a week ago, you were just on social media talking a whole bunch of crap, saying that I opened my legs to everybody, and even said that Sophie needs to be deported.
What?
You're not American either. What are you talking about? That's crazy. First of all, to tell somebody else that they need to be deported is very disgusting behavior. We really think about it, to be the person that's not even from America and still say that. Girl, what the fuck are you talking about? And apparently Natalie has been going off on Instagram about Josh and Sophie the whole time, saying that they had an affair while they were at the resort. She's been going over to his house, all kinds of crazy stuff. But after all that explaining on what she did and how it made them uncomfortable and all that, Natalie actually takes accountability and sees her actions.
I honestly blocked him, like right after the resort. I just blocked him because I didn't want to be involved in that situation, and I blocked him, didn't speak to him. Recently, I unblocked him because of what you were posting about us online. So I hit him up. I'm like, hey, like, you need to stop her from telling everyone we slept together and I went to his house and all this stuff, because that's defamation of character.
So did you have sex with him or no?
come on now, dog. Come on, man.
But now Julia hops in saying that Natalie was talking crap about her too on social media. So Natalie is just going down the line talking crap about everybody. And of course, Natalie is trying to deny everything. Sean moves on with the conversation and asks Natalie, is she messing around with anybody? And Natalie is like, nope, not me. I'm single as a Pringle. And Rob calls her out and is like, you was a straight up liar, because last week I saw you and you were looking good. I told you look good and you told me, yeah, I got a boyfriend and he makes me look beautiful. And she's like, oh shit, oh, I didn't know you were about to call me out now. But she goes on to be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm emotionally involved with somebody else, but that's it. He has me, he has all of me. But that's it, not a boyfriend or anything. And Sean asks, is this your boyfriend? Are you guys serious? And Natalie makes it seem like she had a lot of news or something big that she wanted to present later. She's like, not right now, later, I'll tell you later. And I was like, oh yeah, that's obviously the news that she was talking about earlier, how she had big news, she had something she had to say. I'm gonna tell you right now, she doesn't ever bring this back up again, but something does come out, and it's a someone. Sean asked Josh if he's dating, and let's just wrap this up really quick. I ain't gonna go through all that. Yes, he is dating somebody, and it's Liz's sister. You know, Liz and Andre? Yeah, he's dating Jen. And I'm gonna wrap up this call really quick because it was so awkward. Now, when it comes to Natalie, yeah, she is crazy, but she is still a person with feelings, and I felt like this was just so wrong, and she was pretty tough about it. But apparently Josh and Jen met each other 7 years ago. They've known each other for a long time, but they just rekindled their relationship within the last few months. Apparently Liz used to work for Josh, so that's how they met. And right now, it's not serious between them. They're just having fun, seeing each other, seeing how things go. And Julia, for some reason, I don't know why it's anybody's business, why they always keep asking this, but Julia's like, so you guys effing around? You guys get it in yet? Jen is straight up like, nope, no, we did not. But for some reason, Josh is trying to beat around the bush and just, instead of just saying no, he's trying to make it seem like he did, but I don't know. I can't say that they did or not, because I don't really know Jen that much. Just of the little segments that I seen of her with Liz and Andre, let me tell you, they are all mean girls. Josh definitely has a type. But Sean asked them, are they planning to see each other anytime soon? And apparently they've already gone on trips. It's only been a couple months, but they've been traveling the world with each other already, and they already have another trip planned soon. And it's funny because they're going to to Vegas. And Natalie, she's really good at speaking, and I feel like she knows what's right. And when it comes down to it, I feel like she probably just doesn't need social media, because like that's where she's lashing out the most right now. But she just goes on to tell them that, like, you know, she's a beautiful girl. I hope you guys can make it and grow something. And just because he treated me shitty doesn't mean he's gonna treat her shitty. Like, Josh is not a bad person. We just didn't have that great of a relationship. So she just wishes them the best. And this is where I mean Jen gives off mean girl. If you've never seen her in the segments with Liz and Andre, this will show you now.
Jen, you've seen all the drama play out with Josh and Natalie. What were you thinking while watching all of that go down?
Like, clearly the guy is not into you. Like, hello. It was never going to be creating a family with Josh and having his kids. Like, I mean, if she didn't know that, she's, you know, crazy.
So, Jen, a number of the women here have felt that Josh was gaslighting Natalie. Do you agree?
I feel like people want to use that term so much these days. And
I would agree, yeah, for sure.
Does anyone really know what that means? Like, what is gaslighting?
She's like, people just be throwing around the word gaslighting, and a lot of the times they're not even using it right. Like, what even is gaslighting? Do any of you guys know? And Ari explains it perfectly, and even gave an example to what he did. Like, he was blatantly lying about the Vegas thing. We can all see it. It's in reality. There's even text. And he wants to turn around and be like, no, I didn't invite her. So basically, he's lying to her face about what's actually happening in reality. She could see it. She's experiencing it. And he's like, no, that's not what happened. And I get it. You want to defend your partner or whatever. But then Jen goes on to be like, you know, people have different realities and feel different ways. So she could have thought one thing and he thought another. You asking somebody if they want to go to Vegas is inviting somebody, okay? But Natalie is over it. She's like, let's just cut this. I hope you guys have a good life. Let's just so they just end the call there. Another way that they started milking these tell-all parts is they decided to keep going back to older couples. Like, we already went over Rob and Sophie, but they decided to go back to Rob and Sophie for some reason, and they bring out her old roommate Kay. Or she could actually still be living with her. I'm not entirely sure with that, but her friend Kay. Now, if you don't know who Kay is, Sophie, after her and Rob got married, she immediately moved out and moved in with this girl named Kay, and Kay has been a Rob hater since day one and has basically, I don't want to say she's the reason they broke up, but she definitely has put a lot of influence into Sophie about the whole situation. And now this is another part where I'm like, in the first half you got me, but in the second half, I mean, And for the longest time, I knew I didn't really like Kay. Like, she was just giving me these like weird vibes. I don't know what it is. But after watching 90 Day Fiancé, the season 11 with Juan and Jessica, I now understand what it is. She gives me Megan vibes, where she's just so overbearing in the relationship. Like, she's the girlfriend. I can't tell you how many times her and Rob got into an argument. Like, they're the people together. And I was like, it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, she reminds me of Megan. The only difference though is Megan has like creepy vibes. Like, she'd be like staring into your soul and shit. But yeah, I was like, that's why I don't really like her. But Sean asked Kay how she felt about them going to the resort and giving it a last try. And Kay says that she thought it was a great opportunity for them, and that herself has gone through lifelong therapy, that she's been doing therapy her whole life, and that she felt like Sophie definitely needed some because she doesn't always take accountability, so she could grow from it. And she wasn't sure if Rob was going to take it well, but after sitting and watching it, she's seen a lot of growth between them two. Now, does she think that they should have been together or even tried in the first place? No, because one, Rob has done stuff to Sophie and Sophie can't get over it, and she says that a relationship is all about forgiving, forgetting, moving on, but Sophie would not move on, and that they would always be in a very toxic relationship. And I'm like, damn, she's spitting facts. But Rob points out that they probably would have had a better chance if Kay wasn't in the mix, because she did have a lot of influence on how Sophie acted, all the things that she did. And that's when Sean brings up, didn't you think like they were effing around? So like, how do you feel about that? Do you still think that? And Rob is like, I'm not sure. I don't know what they were doing up in there. And that highly offends Kay. She's like, you know, I'm straight as a board, straighter than plank, all right? I am a straight woman. And that is not a brag. We like women's out here, okay? We like women's. Gay! But then she goes on to explain the whole, like, it was a weird analogy to explain their marriage. She was like, I was suiting up for war for my friend. I will do anything I have to do for my friend. I'm putting up my boots, getting on my camo. I'm about to shoot. Like, and he's like, why are you explaining our marriage like this? This whole I'm going to war. This was me and my wife trying to figure out our marriage. And she's like, listen, you've never argued with you. It is like going to war. And goes on to say that he lashes out and nobody has truly seen him mad. And he's like, everybody here has seen me yell, get crazy, get crunk. Like, they've all seen me mad. And she's like, no, they have not. But while they're going back and forth on that, for some reason, Natalie decided to input herself, which I don't know why, but she got ate the fuck up in the process.
I told Sophie on so many occasions how wrong she was. I don't sit here and just pat my friends on the back. When she does something wrong, I'm like, bitch, you're wrong. Like, that was not okay.
I might not like Sophie, but I think you're cool.
Oh, I don't like that you don't like Sophie, because that means I don't like you.
But again, Rob and Kay are arguing, like I said, they always be doing. And shit starts to spiral and get a little out of control.
You're the problem.
Doubting me
No,
for taking
you're
over
the
my
problem.
friend, but here comes your little freak buddy.
No, look.
Ooh, Rob, at the end of the day, we all know who the gay one is, so please just leave me alone.
Who is the gay?
Who's the gay?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
If we want to talk about why I really left you.
You know what? No.
He was getting paid to.
Sophie, what the?
You want to talk about this? Should we talk about you getting paid $500 to?
Yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check. I was an employee. And I was going to get employee of the month. And that's on period.
Nobody's ever done that. About why I left you.
That's a
talk. I have the screenshots. I have the screenshots. Would like to see some screenshots?
Yes! 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 Now, after all that, Sophie is saying she has the screenshots, and not a single screenshot ever gets brought up. And I'm gonna be honest, I went click-clacking through the interwebs to try to find some type of screenshot, because, you know, stuff just be popping up. And let me tell you, my search history it's effed, okay? I put all kinds of crazy words in there, and I got some results I did not want to see. And I came with nothing. I came out with nothing. So there was no screenshots ever provided. So I'm feeling like Sophie is lying once again about the situation. She always says she has some type of screenshot and nothing ever comes out of it. And if she is truly lying about this, crazy work. And then goes on to be like, I didn't want to address it, but I did anyway. Like, I did not want to talk about this, but I went ahead and did it anyway. Like, girl, what? Stupid. But Josh, from here on out, starts acting like a manager. He's like, listen, pipe down. Just don't even get involved in that. Just let's continue on. Don't let her push you. And with all that uncomfortableness, Sean is like, you know what? I don't even have any more questions for you, Kay. Please get off the stage. Just go. And Kay's like, okay, I'm out of here. She leaves. And Rob is like, F you, never come back. Like, they yell at each other for a little bit. And then she goes to the back and loses her shit. And let me tell you, this girl is scream crying, but there's not a single tear in sight. There's not a single shing. This girl was milking it. She's like, please, somebody give me a contract because I am an actor.
Okay. About how she's leaving. It's gone.
Okay. How many times have you told people to not talk
I
about me?
ruined my marriage, but Rob,
Have you ever told? Have you ever told?
So we're going to take a break. Go and check on your friend. Go.
It's fine. Breathe. It's fine.
No!
Oh, I know. It's triggering. It is triggering.
And it's so funny because Sophie goes back on stage with everybody and she's like, oh my gosh, she had a panic attack. I swear she calls everything a panic attack. Somebody could just be having like a little bit of rough of day and she's like, oh my god, they're having a panic attack. Tantrums aren't panic attacks. But Sophie goes on to say that she's just so mad because Rob is looking good. Okay, like you're seriously that mad? And Jasmine, I think it's because she's pregnant that this kind of disgusted me. It's like, you're pregnant, okay? You're a mother. But she's on stage pregnant as hell being like, 500 for a blowjob? I would charge 1,000.
Brother, ugh.
So did you just price your BJs right here, right now? Where we go, we slide in the DMs for that? Like, what the hell? But now Josh is in the back with Rob, again, managing him, being like, listen, don't say anything crazy. Just talk about your feelings about the resort. Don't let her get to you. And Rob goes on to try to explain the situation, being like, I never did anything crazy like that. What she's talking about is one dude hit me up trying to suck on my thing for some money, and I was not having it. But they get back on stage and Josh is like, listen, don't listen to her, don't worry about her, she's gonna be saying some crazy stuff, just be you, man. And it's crazy because then they turn around and Sophie is like, if he tries to say anything, I'm just gonna call him a gay prostitute. But Sean is done with this shit. She's like, listen, I'm trying to get the hell out of here and get back to my room. So, but she just asked Rob and Sophie, where do they go from here? And they both agree they will never talk to each other ever again. They are done. And I know they're done because Rob is in a new 90-day spin-off.
Welcome to Tulum, Mexico.
The three of us have put together a series of mixers, dates, and events. And in the end, hopefully you'll walk away with the one on your arm.
There's gonna be some other 90-day people here and some other singles that I'm not gonna know. We're all looking for love, so there's no telling what's gonna happen.
They really like him. Like it wanna marry Cole, but I wanna Rob.
I'm sick and tired of you. Sound like a little bitch right now.
I try to be diplomatic with you, and it's not working.
You wanna do, bro?
All's fair in love and war. Sometimes people get hurt.
So yeah, they're completely, they're done. But before they finally split ways and divorce, they have to have one more argument. And this argument, I'm glad that they caught, because this right here solidified my feeling of Sophie lying. But when she walks in, they immediately start going at it. And Rob is just like, listen, I just need you to admit that what you're saying was a lie. It was a dude texting me, trying to get at me. And he was offering me 5,000 buckaroonies. And Sophie's like, no, it was 500, Rob. And that's all she fixates on is the price. Okay, but what about the other parts? But they keep going back and forth on the price. 5,000, 500, 5,000, 500, 5,000. I have the screenshots. Okay, show it. You're a liar, Rob. I'm out of here. Bye. How the fuck are you going to get on TV and say this about somebody and then also claim you have proof but then don't want to show proof or anything? Like, that is so foul to me. Like, that was just so messed up. She did not need to do that whatsoever. She even said herself she didn't want to bring it up, so why'd you bring it up? Why'd you bring up a lie? A literal lie. So you're over here. Oh my gosh. These ones gave me a headache, and I know this lasted a long time. This is probably gonna be a long ass video, but I needed to group these together. And honestly, there's still some more left of part 4, but it's Jasmine and Gino, and they were towards the end. I'm just gonna lump it in with the next video. But the last part of the tell-all, let me tell you, more awkwardness. So just be prepared for that. Again, thank you guys for being so patient with me with these videos. I'm getting my lazy bones up and getting to it, I promise. But on the other hand, I think Kai's lifelong therapy didn't work out very well. So if any of you guys are therapists, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and maybe I'll connect you guys too, because she needs some help. But as always, thank you guys for coming and watching. It's always appreciated. You guys have a beautiful day. Bye.